Entering the fall of 2001 for his second season in Detroit, Ben Wallace learned he would bid farewell to teal and wear a red, white, and blue Pistons uniform. As it turns out, the return to traditional colors wasn't the only way in which the Pistons would get back to their roots.
You know, when I first came here, I always knew this, you know, it's pretty much where I belong. Looking back at the team's past, you know, with Joe and Zeke and, you know, Bill Laimbeer, when Rick Carlisle came in, he sort of put us in a position where, you know, we can somewhat play like those guys.
Just like the Bad Boys more than a decade earlier, Rick Carlisle's Pistons were determined to win games with a tough-minded defensive approach. And at the center of it all would be the most intimidating defensive force in the league.
Unbelievable block! Back to team inside, blocked by Wallace. Hitting it up. Here's Billy McKee with a drive. Blocked by Ben! And the Pistons will win it.
Ben Wallace again saves the day.
In 2002, Wallace became the shortest player ever to lead the NBA in both block shots and rebounding. The next season, a brand new backcourt saw firsthand what Ben could do for them.
When we used to go out there and play on defense, he used to always tell me, hey, look here, Rip, if you get beat, don't foul your guy, because I'll be there to block his shot. And when you hear that from your center or your power forward or a guy that's playing behind you, it gives you a sense of confidence.
You know, when you come here and you see his work ethic, you know, and you see what he means to the team and what he means to the game out there, seeing how he can just dominate an entire game without making one basket, was phenomenal, man. It was phenomenal. I had never seen that before.
As impressed as his teammates were, the public adulation peaked even higher. Ben Wallace, the undrafted, too short to play center from Whitehall, Alabama, was now the most popular athlete in Detroit.
It was something that I could appreciate because I started at the bottom of the pack. You know, not getting drafted, having to go to this place and have people tell you, you know, you're too small and you can't do this and can't do that. And, you know, I lived through people telling me what I couldn't do, you know, and what I need to do. And now people appreciate me for what I can do.
In 2003, Wallace and the top-seeded Pistons found themselves down 3-1 in the first round of the playoffs to the 8th-seeded Magic. Following Game 4, the normally stoic Wallace publicly criticized his teammates without naming names, and he wasn't backing off one day later.
You know, if anybody feel offended about it, you know, that wasn't my intention or whatever, but if you feel offended about it, then maybe it's you.
You can lay the hammer down when you're the first one to show up. You outwork everybody. You're the last one to leave the gym. And everybody knows that at the end of the day, the only thing that you really care about is winning. They certainly wasn't going to challenge him on it. That would have probably been a mistake.
The Pistons responded to Ben's tough talk, storming back and taking the series in 7. But after they were swept out in the East Finals, Carlisle was let go, and in stepped Hall of Fame coach Larry Brown.
Larry held everybody accountable. Rick, he ran a system. You know, it was a tight system. You know, hey, you do this, and you do that. Now you don't do this, you don't do that. And with Larry Brown, everybody's going to play basketball. That's the reason I respect, Larry Brown so much, because he gave me the opportunity to go out and do, everything. He basically told me, hey, anytime you catch the ball, you feel like shooting, shoot, because you deserve it.
Ben was even more pleased when he heard that they'd acquired Rasheed Wallace at the trade deadline. The two Wallaces clicked immediately, controlling the paint like few duos ever had. The result was a trip to the finals where Ben, who was giving up nearly half a foot and close to 100 pounds to Shaquille O'Neal, helped pave the way for the now famous 5-game sweep.
It's hard. He's not afraid of Shaq. What's the worst that Shaq can do to you? Dunk on you. And he does that to everybody. So, Ben he wasn't afraid to stick his chest out there, stick his face in there, got hit with a couple elbows. So I think it was his heart that made the difference.
In the series-clinching win, Ben racked up stunning numbers, 18 points and 22 rebounds.
When we had that opportunity to seal the deal, we always got it done. And, we didn't want to go back to LA. We didn't know what to expect, going back to LA. So we said, this is an opportunity. The trophies is in the building, so let's go get it.
With the championship glow still hovering at the start of the 05 season, the Pistons found themselves on the short end of a November 19th blowout loss to the Pacers amid a testy encounter between Ben and Ron Artest.
On one play, I think I blocked the shot a little, and he told the official that, you know, on the follow-through, that I hit him in his head. And the official was like, just play. Y'all got control of the game, just play basketball. And he told the official that, all right, don't worry about it. I'm going to get him. After that, and it didn't matter was it was a hard foul or a touch foul or whatever. You know, when somebody say that, you know, I'm gonna get you. Yeah, you think they trying to get you.
When Artest followed through on his threat, Wallace reacted immediately. What happened next lives in NBA infamy as Artest, who'd reacted calmly after the shove from Ben, became irate when hit with a full cup thrown by a fan. The Pistons recovered from the incident and returned to the finals in 05. After dropping the first 2 games in San Antonio, Wallace set the tone for a Pistons blowout with the steal and dunk on the first play of Game 3. But Ben's inspirational play would become a footnote, with Robert Horry's three-pointer in Game 5 ultimately serving as the defining moment of that series. Ben racked up his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award in 06, this time under new coach Flip Saunders, whose offensive ingenuity helped the team to a franchise record 64 wins. But it became evident that Wallace wasn't on the same page as his new coach, culminating in an April meeting with the Magic when he refused to re-enter the game. In the East Finals that year, the Miami Heat met the Pistons with a caliber of defensive intensity that had been a Motor City trademark. The Heat won it in 6, and now free agent Ben Wallace had a decision to make.
I had to pick up and leave, or I had to suck up and buy into the system. If I stay here, and if I don't truly buy into the system, you know, am I gonna, you know, make everybody else here unhappy? Then it came down to the decision whether it would have been easier for me to leave, you know, and allow these guys still to go out there and, you know, play hard and compete every night and not have to worry about what I'm thinking or what I'm doing. And to go out there, you know, halfway on board, you know, what I thought was going on. So that's when I made the decision to leave.
Ben Wallace signed with the Chicago Bulls that summer, a somewhat stunning turn of events for a player that had become the face of the Pistons franchise.